It is exactly 8 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In Kamwenge to dislodge the ADF. Mrs. Janet Museveni launches NRM village-based grassroots door-to-door mobilization campaign in Namutumba district. Anti-presidential candidate Muntu promises to support coffee farmers and address teachers' salaries. And in sports, Cranes players arrive in Morocco for a training camp ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Hello there and welcome once again. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma. We begin in Kamwenge, where the NRM presidential candidate Museveni has pledged to establish a military barracks in Kamwenge to dislodge any possible attacks from the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF. Mr. Museveni made the pledge after a request by NRM chairperson Kamwenge, Frank Tumwebazi, as he campaigned in the district on Monday.
The NRM presidential candidate Museveni has campaigned in Kamwenge and Kyegegwa districts. In Kamwenge, Museveni addressed a rally at Chabanda Primary School playground in Kahunge Town Council. Museveni pledged to establish a military barracks in Kamwenge near Chibale Forest to consolidate security in the district.
Mbona tumwebazi yaleta ekitenso kirungi ekikugira ngu tugire nka battalion tugitehe n'ekibira eki orubajoro naza kugira battalion mundondera itaka nibeja kurondera itaka harungi aho mutastomu omurishito rwina amaizi orukwijura ahe nakombeka barracks yentura orubajoro. Iri tafari yo kubanza obusinge abakimwe bakunuya numuhurira ebitura Kongo mumanya gwesi yetine businge numurebe impunge ziri aha.
Museveni's pledge followed a request by NRM district chairperson Frank Tumwebazi.
Ndukushaba Your Excellency kwa kutuhereza obande touch obande barracks tinkubyetegerezo mbyamahe konka tukatunga permanent military presence aboda ya Chibale Forest stage abantu bitaba kuturaho bakahurira batebekeine akwana bagumana bakorera katera kasese amwe bafurika mu baburo businge baburakora ebintu byentura.
Mr. Museveni encouraged the Kamwenge residents to take irrigation seriously so as to tap from agriculture.
Nibiri bintu mushanju ebyo kukorera hafunzire okuyamwe cyangu ekyo kubanza omwani.
Museveni also pledged the roads, schools, electricity and health facilities that all facilitate wealth creation.
Ebintu byafa abantu bafa ubwire bwabo bukora imirimo bwasisikara bari omushuhuki. Iri ni tafari yo kubanza iri NRM eteranje ya Uganda. Itafari ya kabiri nentunguka ijima bakamwenye mujumanya mwakwate orupapura kwa maxi
Kamwenge district leaders praised Museveni for establishing a good road network, good health units, and wealth creation programs.
As Kamwenge district, we are a creation of the NRM. Historically, Toro, during the time of UPC, I think the government only recognized it the seat of Fort Portal. Only the hinterland of Toro was never served. We had no roads, nothing to talk of. So when Kamwenge was created, it created an avenue. It gave us, it enabled the scaling up of social services.
We have Tamaka Road from Kamwenge all the way to Kampala. I remember when I was in the university in the early 90s, we used to travel from Kamwenge to Kampala 12 hours. But right now, in 4 hours, you are already in Kampala.
Now that was President Yoweri Museveni campaigning earlier on in Kamwenge district. Now, the government of Uganda's development agenda over the years has initiated programs that focus on poverty reduction, youth and women empowerment and infrastructure, with initiatives like the parish development model to stimulate the local economies, the youth livelihood program for the young people, and Uganda Women Entrepreneurship, a program for women, and a Myuga, to mention but a few. Now, candidate Yoweri Museveni, who has concluded his campaign trail in Kamwenge and Kyegegwa districts, highlighted the major achievements of the NRM government for the next 5 years if elected early next year. Let's take a look at the government scorecard in Kamwenge district.
Kamwenge district has 18 sub-counties, town councils, 74 parishes and 442 villages with a population of 337,167 according to the census report of 2024. According to the parish development model, the district has cumulatively received 19.04 billion. Out of these, 18.62 billion, representing 97.77%, has been disbursed to 18,625 beneficiary households. Kamwenge has a total of 76,274 households. Out of these, 18,625, representing 24.4%, have already received PDM funds. In regards to Emyoga, the district has a total of 36 Emyoga circles with 15,559 members. Government has so far disbursed a total of 1.96 billion. Looking at the education sector, the district has a total of 86 government primary schools and 198 private schools, 11 government secondary schools and 28 private secondary schools. Breaking down the health sector, out of the 18 sub-counties in Kamwenge, one has a general hospital, one has a health center 4, and 11 have health center 3s. In regards to the water sector, out of the 442 rural villages, 294 have access to a safe water source, representing an average coverage of 66.5%. In regards to the energy sector, Kamwenge district is now connected to the national grid. In the next Kisanja, government will connect electricity to the remaining 3 sub-counties, complete the construction of the 5 seed secondary schools, to reduce sub-counties without government secondary schools, upgrade different health center 2s to health center 3s in different sub-counties to improve the health care, rehabilitate 20 boreholes in Kahunge, Koma, Kabuga, Bigodi, Rukunyu, and Chiduduma sub-counties, as well as extend piped water systems to reach the remaining 33.4% of the unserved villages.
That was the government scorecard in as far as Kamwenge district is concerned. Now, the incumbent president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has issued a tough warning to PDM officials involved in misappropriation of the funds to stop or else risk being imprisoned. Mr. Museveni made the remarks at a public rally held in Kyegegwa district. Nyango reports.
President Yoweri Museveni has held 2 campaign rallies in Toro sub-region in the districts of Kamwenge and Kyegegwa. The Kyegegwa rally attracted thousands of party supporters who gathered at Soba Primary School grounds.
And our presidential flag bearer, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
In Kyegegwa, the NRM presidential candidate was accompanied by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, and the Vice Chairperson for Western Uganda, Engineer Jonada Asimwe.
Burundi gunu abantu ba Uganda bakaba balizire mpaka bo yatwire hati abantu bajja kusesera obururu okukirolera hanu Kyegegwa abakyegegwa mwebale kwija abantu ba Mukama mweterere mu ngarabo okwija.
Incumbent Museveni was flanked by first daughter Natasha Karugire Museveni.
Kyegegwa obutwabahere district mukamuli emitwalo 10 something 100,000 something atundozire muri emitwalo 50.
Highlighting the district's past history, incumbent Museveni appealed to the party supporters in Kyegegwa to support the NRM party for continued stability and development.
Taro mukazorora tukatora bahano nturwana tugenda kutera Kabamba tugenda kutera Rubona tukatora bahano ADF bizire nakune kejayo esuhuki ziri hano mu cyaka nimurora abantu abirikire mahanga umunsi zabo barahano nawe cyo kutubaza ku kigambo cyo businge inyo nimye bakaiso.
According to the 2024 National Bureau of Statistics, water coverage in Kyegegwa district is still low. This attracted the attention of the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni to pledge for extension of more gravitational water to stressed areas of Kyegegwa district.
Ebyaro bibire atana mukaga nibyo bina amezi marungi. Ebyaro bikumbina na kimu busawo amezi amayonjo.
Museveni also appealed to the people in Kyegegwa to take advantage of the government programs geared at fighting poverty in homesteads and enhancing household income.
President, Prime Minister, Minister, Speaker, Prime Minister. I don't want to be part of that nonsense.
However, the president was quick at sounding tough warning to government employees charged with the responsibility of proper implementation of the PDM program, but instead are involved in acts of misappropriation of PDM funds.
Kan tugenda kubakwata abo bona abarkwibe sente z'abanaku ntujja kubeguraho orutaro ni kibi muno omunaku atunge sente z'wana miliyoni emukonyere arugo mbunaku.
While in Kyegegwa, the president received hundreds of NUP supporters who have crossed over to the National Resistance Movement Party. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
To other news now, and the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, officially launched the NRM village-based grassroots door-to-door mobilization campaign in Ntungamo district with the parish as the coordinating focus. The mobilization at Chamate Secondary School grounds marks the beginning of a vigorous village-to-village and household-to-household drive that's aimed to garner support for the NRM party's presidential flag-bearer, Yoweri Museveni, and party flag-bearers for the 2026 elections.
And the event brought together hundreds of trained village mobilizers and key district leaders, as well as NRM flag bearers at various levels. This signaled renewed commitment to energizing the NRM voter base, as well as guarding against any complacency and procrastination in party members' responsibility to not only vote, but also mobilize for the flag bearers. The First Lady, Janet Museveni, emphasized that the mobilization drive, led directly by the NRM Secretariat, demonstrates the party's commitment to ensuring that the gains the NRM has accumulated over these many years are protected.
Kunkambere nimbe yushya nkunkamaraho emyaka 10 nimpereza ruhama nkamemba wa parliament ruhama etakabeire split yone kiriyemwe kandi mobilization nkaba ngikora village to village 30 people abaha village nibamanyisa ikintu kyangu mobilization exercise.
She reiterated the importance of unity as a country if the war against household poverty and diseases to be defeated. Mrs. Museveni challenged her audience that as a country, we cannot develop by looking to other people to come and transform our homeland.
Mbwenu ukukora mobilization imwe mfu kugamba mazima gemera umwe movement ekozire omwihango mwishitya abantu kuharabe hina bebirwe abokuba tumukuba mutakubeyiha kumukugamba ebiruho abokuba byo biruho tariho any other African government erikureta sente from the national budget ekazita omumaka g'abantu ngo abantu bakabasa kweyombeka kwebeisaho kwombeka families zabo kugarura ebyabashobeire kutandika ebyabaremire ngo ihanga ribase kubaho. Mbwenu abantu ba Uganda kuba kwa batetereire movement akaruru nibaba bahemukire kandi sebakuhemukira president kandi sebakuhemukira government nibehemukire.
Dr. James Tweheyo from the NRM Secretariat congratulated the people of Greater Ankole for their overwhelming support during the recent presidential campaigns in their region. He highlighted the parish-based mobilization model launched by President Museveni in Mayuge as the most effective strategy for strengthening NRM support at grassroots.
Mbwena hariyo bantu mwekwatire ikintu cyanyu mugende muronda akaruru k'ekibina cyaitu buri omwe mu cyaro cye ukaronde ugamena abantu bawore ngutino wasigarayo kandi hina karora kasisikara habo kubaha murondo ogu ntwenda buri karuru bakabareka kiri.
The ongoing nationwide parish-based mobilization campaign has trained 63 leaders in every village across Uganda's 7,200 villages. Each mobilizer is tasked with reaching at least 3 voters, a strategy projected to deliver 13 million votes for the NRM. For Ntungamo, Chamate ward with its 6 villages were used to train other parishes on how the door-to-door mobilization approach is expected to operate. The First Lady conducted the symbolic launch of the mobilization campaign in Ntungamo district by handing over the President's message booklet, the NRM Grassroots Mobilization Handbook, T-shirts, posters, and pocket posters to the respective NRM chairpersons from the 6 cells of Chamate ward. This is the package of materials that shall be availed across all villages in the country as the toolkit for village-level grassroots mobilization for NRM party flag bearers at all levels. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Thanks, William, for that story there. The Alliance for National Transformation ANT presidential candidate General Mugisha Muntu has wrapped up his West Nile campaigns urging voters in Zombo, Nebi and Pakwach to vote ANT. General Muntu promised to support coffee farmers, address salaries of teachers and manage the country's security if elected into power come January 2026.
We take our country and put it on track, ensure that there is justice, equality before the law, equal opportunities.
General Mugisha Muntu retired, started his campaigns in the NRM stronghold district of Zombo at Wal in Ola County.
People of Ola County to support and give your votes to General Mugisha Muntu as we go into these presidential elections.
He said poverty is a result of poor infrastructure and lack of government support.
This particular area of Zombo is quite rich in terms of resources, but look, the biggest impediment we still have are poor roads, and also it seems lack of locally based primary societies that could buy the coffee and buy other produce, and therefore negotiate better prices for the farmer to be able to benefit.
Namutumba sent a strong message to security forces to be professional and work under the law.
To ask those who are in the army, those who are in the army under my command, if they are honest, they will be able to tell you that I have the capability to hold this country together, to stabilize those security forces, to have them professionalize themselves. Because in each of those services, there are men and women who are well educated. There are men and women who are well trained.
He said that low levels of education, poor state of the community access roads, water shortages, and unemployment is a major concern in Zombo, Pakwach, and Nebi districts.
We need men and women who care about the country, who care about people. Leaders who are not corrupt. Leaders who are able to manage the economy, the politics, and the security of the country. And when they have those capabilities, there's no problem which cannot be resolved in this country.
The people of Zombo appealed for the tarmac of the road from Jukia to Vura, 119 kilometers passing through Goli to Kaya.
Humble request, being a teacher who is learning, a learned friend to be. Therefore, how soon are you going to improve on our welfare and education system?
As a person whom I have known for a long time, and a person who cannot betray this country.
He made stopovers in Nebi municipality and Pakwachi, calling the people to make the right choices. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The women and
A Forum for Democratic Change, FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi has promised to save people from money lenders who are exploiting them and taking their property. While conducting campaign rallies in Namutumba district, Mafabi said he will put in place banks from which people will be able to borrow money at lower rates.
Residents of Ivukula Town Council Namutumba district decried exploitation by money lenders who they said do not give them enough time to pay back but take their property. While conducting campaign rallies in Namutumba district, the FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi promised to address the challenge of money lenders if elected president.
Bana ba money lender bamaze abantu baife babakubye emigo batwaire ebintu byaibwe abantu amativi bagatwaire ko gebagulaira bino bya money lender bali kuja kuwao tulikuja kuleta bank ibili cooperative banka ne banka ya balimi motola sente ngozidotako wadegoba wadeli lala.
He also said he will work on the road infrastructure.
Budodino twende ngudo dona do mu kyalo district tutairemo kilomita bibili olukonfona ate bida kukole omwako mulala gonka twenda trilioni 10 kuko ne bugudo buno bona buwewo ate budget yaife bakajongera juzi yabaire trillioni 7 kati iliko trillioni 8.
Mafabi assured the people that he comes in the election to fight the misuse of taxpayers' money. The candidate first held his campaign rallies in Chibale Town Council. He also campaigned in Nangonde and Magada Town Councils in Namutumba. Joseph Chigozigola and Farida Nafka for UBC News.
News Tonight now takes a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Kabogozi, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namagudi to get NSSF services. Rekanawe. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you.
Come on, the Pakabanda. You can register for NSSF. I'll contribute to your Simati life. Now deep down in the Barada. Make NSSF payments. No Hala Okubekarangala. NSSF sure is not far. But tomorrow Kuhika Gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account, Jubira. NSSF, a better life.
You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint Undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for Silk Vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical-looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person who recommends me to another person who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Power your moment. Techno, the global partner of AFCON 2025.
Starting with 100,000 shillings,
you begin building real financial strength, because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
Uganda's oil and gas journey is not only about energy. It is also about protecting the environment and preserving biodiversity. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda ensures that environment, health and safety measures are embedded in every stage of the oil and gas activities. From rigorous waste management systems to advanced oil spill preparedness, Uganda is committed to responsible resource development. Biodiversity conservation is central to Uganda's oil and gas operations. Sensitive ecosystems are mapped, monitored and protected through collaborative efforts with environmental agencies, industry partners and communities. Emergency response teams are trained and equipped to handle potential incidents, ensuring safety for people, nature and assets. This is Uganda's pledge to develop sustainably, protect our natural heritage, and create shared prosperity for generations. At the heart of regulating these developments for the last 10 years stands the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, with a mission of creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Time now for us to have business news, and we are looking at that segment of Wuza Commissioner, where the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority gets to answer one or two questions that you, especially the business community, have sent to him during the course of the week. Take a watch.
Buza Commissioner.
I'm a small business owner operating a drug shop. We are licensed by NDA, this is the National Drug Authority, but we are still being taxed by URA and municipal authorities. Also demand from us license fees. Is this triple taxation? What tax are we expected to pay as drug shop operators? Our dear viewer, this is a very good question. Now, URA is mandated to assess and collect taxes for the central government. And what we collect is mainly tax revenue and some non-tax revenues. However, there are other agencies of government which collect other service fees and other license fees other than Uganda Revenue Authority. Take an example of National Drug Authority. They will license you, and for that license, they will charge you a fee. Or the local authorities will charge you some ground fee, some ground fees or rent. Now, these are separate tax heads. And I think the point that you make is, can we work together with these agencies to collect these taxes in a way that does not wear you out? Because you're right to assume that we are actually taxing you triple. But if you draw a distinction between the tax we'll collect from you, you will then understand that these are different taxes by different agencies of government. Therefore, URA will come to you only to correct your income tax, because you run a business that has made profit, and at the end of the year, you contribute your income tax. Or you employ staff that you pay as you earn, that you pay salaries, and therefore on behalf of government, you collect pay as you earn. Short of that, we will not collect fees on behalf of getting the NDA license. But we are already having a discussion as government agencies to find a smarter way and less exhausting way of collecting all these fees at once, so that once we give you an assessment, we can take what belongs to NDA and what belongs to the local government and what belongs to URA, and we split it later on. But that is work ongoing, and once our systems are integrated, we'll get to that smart way of approaching you together as different agencies of government, but working together. So now bear with our multiple visits until we are able to integrate our systems and do a single visit, and you pay each one separately.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
And that brings us to the end of this bulletin, but do remember that our second and final edition of News Tonight comes your way at 10 p.m. On Sign Language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. But up next here on UBC TV, it is The Front Bench with Jethro, who is on standby. Jethro, over to you.
Thank you, Kija. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Front Bench. Now, land is personal to every Ugandan. It is our heritage and could be the only source of livelihood. Now, every Ugandan really works so hard to ensure that they obtain land. But when you look at our system, somehow, somewhere, acquisition of land is a challenge. The system that one has to go through to acquire land, the system that one has to go through to ensure that they validate if really the land is authentic. Those are very, very key and pertinent issues that our officers are going to unpack tonight. Now, the question is also, what is working and what isn't? These questions are going to be answered by the senior officials from the Ministry of Lands. Allow me to introduce my guests tonight. I do have the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Lands, Mrs. Dorcas Wagima Okalach. You're welcome on the front bench, PS.
Thank you very much, my host. As he has introduced me, my name is Dorcas Wagima Okalach. I head the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development as the PS, and I've been there since 2017. I'm happy to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PS. I also do have the Secretary from Uganda Lands Commission, Mr. Nyumba Andrew. Good to have you, Mr. Nyumba.
I'm glad to be here with you. Like you've said, my name is Andrew Nyumba. I'm the Secretary of the Land Commission, and I was confirmed in that role last year in October, but previously I'd acted in that capacity since 2022. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please be part of the show. This is something you shouldn't miss. We do have very many questions coming in from the public. So I am your voice. I am here to represent you. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the front bench. I am Jethro. Let's get started.